Wait for the old biddies to walk by.
Yeah, stumble across.
And set me parking sensors off.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome back to another episode of Slice of Fry Gold.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, I'm Paddy.
And I'm Ben.
Make sure you like this video.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell. Comment down in the sections below on this week's topics and movies. If you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure you give us a 5-star review and comment below. But without further ado, Ben, how are you?
Yeah. So I am still 30. That hasn't changed, thankfully.
Yep.
Got another year before that changes.
Yeah.
This month it's slowly turning more and more expensive, and it's hurting my little bank account.
Yeah. We didn't have a very expensive holiday.
Well, very expensive holiday.
Yeah.
And then I thought I had a slow puncture.
Yep.
And rather than sort of, wait to see what happens, I took it straight to a garage and said, I think I've got a slow puncture. Can you have a look at it?
Yeah.
And the guy took one look at my wheel and went, whether you've got a slow puncture or not, I'm not fixing it. And I was like,
how?
Why the fuck not?
How dare you? How dare
And then he just looks at me and goes, because your tyre's on the legal limit, you need to get that changed. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Just what you need.
You know, and then he checked the other 3 tyres whilst he's at it, and he's like, yeah you need 2 tyres replacing. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's the time of the year for MOT and servicing, so it's like, expensive holiday, 2 new tyres, MOT and servicing. I'm just like, can we not? Right now? Please?
My bank balance could not take this right now.
Like, literally, so, apparently there's this, war in Ukraine, there's looking at this worldwide draft kind of thing to, help out with, emergency responses.
Okay.
And, someone at work was, trying to wind me up, going, you could sign up. And without thinking, I just went, as long as it pays more than here. And then my boss was like, ooh, Ben, do we need to have a chat? I was like, no, money's fine. Just very expensive month right now.
Financially, I cannot cope.
Financially is not good. It's no bueno.
No bueno.
So there's that. I've got this motherfucking big ass spot right on my love handles.
Ooh.
And every time I sit down, I'm like, and
catch it.
Yeah, catch it, and because generally when someone sits down and goes like that, people sort of go, "What have you been up to?"
Yeah.
It's like nothing. I have a fucking spot.
Yeah.
And of course because it's on my love handles, it's all very tender and everything. So it's like, oh, great fun. And I've finally caught up after being being on holiday.
Yeah.
Though I do have a little niggle, a little moan.
Yeah.
When you're off on holiday, you expect your colleagues to cover for you as much as possible,
Right.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So when you come back and there's stuff just left for you, and you just, oh yeah, well, we feel like it could wait for you, and it's like, well, it could have been done.
Yeah.
I just, it made last week even more difficult than it needed to be.
Yeah.
It made it much more stressful and everything. It's just like, can you not? Can you just, I asked you to do this. I know it could wait for me to come back, but in my little handover, I asked you to do it, so please?
Yeah.
And then it's like they're going on holiday in a couple of months' time, and it's just kind of like, well, do I now be the bigger person and do the work they asked me to do, or be petty and be like, well, thought it could wait for you,
Yeah.
It's kind of a, which one do I do?
People, let us know down below what Ben should be.
Comment down below. Do I be petty or do I be the bigger man? Bear in mind, I'm gunning for a promotion. There you go. There's my answer.
There's your answer. You should be doing the job.
Do the job and don't be petty. But if you can think of some real smart workarounds where I can be petty without looking petty, comment down below.
Yeah.
Let me know your evil thoughts, because we all like an evil plan here.
We do love an evil plan.
No, that's final thoughts. Evil plan. Mustache 12.
Okay, mustache.
What about you? How are you?
I'm not gonna lie. This first week back was not ideal. It was not ideal. Two on holiday, 2 off sick.
Ooh.
I've pulled 62 hours in 1 week.
Ooh, nice.
I am tired. I am on my 2nd day off, and I'm back to work tomorrow, and I'm still tired from the last couple of days. It's been really busy, really busy. But in all fairness, it's been really busy the last couple of weeks while we were off as well. So it's just been non-stop. We're going into the summer holidays, and it's kind of like absolute full on.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really bode well for the summer, but hopefully, with a few people coming back from like uni and everything else, we should be on top of things. But yeah, this week has been difficult.
Yeah.
I did something very, very masculine the other day.
You? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it. Go on. I'm listening. I'm ready.
I shaved my leg.
Okay. I thought it was going to be, I saved a runaway pram from being run over by a car or something, or
I put my foot up on the side of the bathtub in the shower and I shaved my leg.
Please tell me you had a shower cap on whilst doing it, and you were doing the song from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Touch me, I want to feel dirty. Please tell me you did it that way.
No, unfortunately.
Come on, if you're going to do something like that, just
No.
go full hog.
Yeah, full hog and full ham and just do it. Yeah,
Do it.
no.
I'm guessing this is tattoo related.
Yeah. I stopped into the shop today. I shaved my leg yesterday. I stopped in the shop yesterday because I had to have photos taken for his portfolio,
Of course.
and everything.
Right. Okay. Right.
So
Yeah.
obviously hair's grown back, so the finer line details weren't
Going.
showing.
Yeah.
So I shaved my legs so I look masculine. I didn't think it was that bad. I don't know what the issue is. I was going full for
You
it.
have very.
Did alright.
You don't have-
obviously
you don't
my
have-
hair is not as thick and
No, you have very fine, thin hair, so your legs don't look hairy at the best of times.
No, they don't. But
So-
obviously the bulk was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I felt like a real big man, and I shaved my leg.
And that is now on the internet forever.
There's so much we've spoken on here already.
This is true.
That's
Very
the least of my worries. Oh dear. But yeah, other than that, apart from shaving my leg and having a really, really busy week at work, nothing else to worry about.
Oh, I now need to message. Is it Petra that did the design for our logo?
Yes.
I now need to message her and be like, Petra, can you do me a design of Paddy in a bathtub shaving his legs? Please.
I bet she'll do it. I bet
She
she'll
would.
do it. She would do it. She'd do it just
Petra, I'm broke, but can you do this, please?
she'd do it for the pure love of it. Oh
Fair
dear.
enough. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Right.
Go on.
Before we discuss film,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I want to discuss TV show.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
It's not finished yet, but I want to discuss Secret Invasion.
Ooh, okay.
What? Because this is not going to go well. But what are your opinions so far? Love it. Fantastic. It's great. Go on.
I don't think it's great.
All right. Okay.
I think it's better than I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this show is too far in the MCU to break ground. If this had been made 5 years ago, maybe in between Infinity War or just before, like in between Infinity War and Endgame, if it had kind of been around then, I kind of maybe would have been more shocked about the twists and turns that we've had so far. At the time of recording, we've had the first 4 episodes. Tomorrow is the 5th episode. And apart from a couple, maybe 1 or 2 shocks, I don't think it's broken any ground.
No.
I enjoyed it. I mean, like Samuel L. Jackson, great. He's Samuel L. Jackson. Dude's a dude. He does what he wants. He does what he wants to do, and I think he's good at it.
Yeah.
But overall, I've enjoyed it. I just don't think it's great, and I don't think it's anything spectacular. Your thoughts?
The reason I brought it up is because, of course, naturally, it's been coming out whilst majority of it was whilst we were in America.
Yes.
So I thought, great, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just binge it. Let me just put it on and just binge it.
Yeah.
And it was at the end of episode 4,
Mm-hmm.
I finally thought, oh my god, something's happening.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, hang on a minute. Now I'm finally saying something's happening. What episode am I on? Am I on episode 2? Looked, and I was like, oh shit, I'm on episode 4. 4 episodes, because they're nearly hour-long episodes as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
4 nearly hour-long episodes, and nothing has happened.
Yeah,
And
nothing.
that really annoyed me. You know, because of course it's like, right, I'm binging, like I'm trying to play catch up after having 2 weeks of nothing.
Oh yeah.
Like my YouTube subscriptions, it's disgusting.
Yeah, so is mine. It's obscene.
You know, and so it's like I've chosen to use my time to binge this.
Yeah.
And it's nothing's happening, and it riled me up.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Totally. I mean, for me, I think, and I was going to bring this up actually, so I'm kind of semi-glad you brought it up. You talk about the fact that you've binge watched it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a couple of TV shows that I watch that have all come out at once, and there's some that still come out weekly, like Secret Invasion. So I've just watched the final season of Titans on Netflix, as well as catching up on Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Yes.
And I really struggled with the final season of Titans because I'm trying to binge watch 12 episodes of nearly an hour long each.
Yeah.
And I really, but then like Star Trek is about an hour each episode, but it's coming out weekly, so it's easier to digest.
Yeah.
And as much as I like binge watching a TV show, I do feel that there is that element of missing out on watching stuff weekly.
Yeah.
There's so much content that gets dropped in big chunks. Even like with the new season of Witcher, that it's 10 episodes long and they're dropping it half a season at a time. But even at half a season, it was like 5 and a bit hours worth of content. Trying to binge watch all of that was just ridiculous.
Yeah. See, for me, I would much rather all the studios and channels and everything go back to weekly releases.
Yeah, 100%.
Because firstly, there's so much coming out constantly.
Yeah.
Then you could literally say, right, this evening's for this and this evening's for that and da. Whereas right now, it's sort of, I don't know about you, but I sort of sit there and go, right, what am I going to watch? I need to watch this.
Yeah.
Well, I can't be bothered to watch anything now. I'll just put something I've watched on before, Brooklyn Nine-Nine or Friends or something.
Yeah.
And also, there was a magic about weekly releases because you could watch it and you could go to work and be like, oh my god. You could discuss it. You could talk about it.
Game of Thrones. Do you remember when the Red Wedding happened? Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Things like that.
You could discuss it. You could theorize about what's going to happen and everything like that. Whereas now it's like, well, no, here's the whole story in one go.
Yeah.
So you can't theorize about it. You can't say, well, I think it's going to go this way. Well, I think it's going to go that way. And we've lost that magic.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
And
with
so
that
here is my passionate monologue to the camera.
Yeah.
Please, studios, weekly releases. Let us catch up. Let us watch other things.
Yeah.
Let us talk about it because that also I think builds hype. If we've got 2 people avidly talking about a show in a restaurant and everything, and someone else overhears, they go, "Ooh, I might give that a shot." Whereas if they're just talking about, "Oh, it's done now," the person over here is not going to want to know.
Well, exactly, and that takes me to that brings up like when I think I might have brought it up on here. I can't remember. Or I might have said it to you. But when The Last of Us was coming out, and I overheard that table of older generation talking about it, and I chimed in and I said, "I've played the video game. You guys have got so much to come. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Please stick with it." And that was like first or second episode.
Yeah.
And everything else. And there's little things like that. You look at like The Mandalorian. It was coming out weekly, and people were like, "Oh, maybe this character could show up. Oh, maybe this character could show up. Oh my God, was that Boba Fett in the last episode? Can you imagine if they bring in Boba Fett into this?" And things like that. Oh my God, that was Luke Skywalker. My mind was blown and everything else. Because we just didn't expect those kind of things. If it all dropped in once and that hype hadn't slowly been building up, I don't think it would have been the same. I really don't. But I agree. I think a lot of content should be going back to weekly releasing, 100%. I mean, I've got was it Jack Ryan, the John Krasinski.
Yeah.
The final season of that's still to watch. That dropped a couple of weeks ago. And I just don't have the time to constantly binge watch 10 hours worth of TV shows.
Yeah.
And then movies on top. I just don't. It's too much, and it's too much, and they wonder why shows don't get the views.
Yeah.
The people have to pick and choose what they want to watch, and especially when I've done like a 14-hour shift, I'm going to go home. The last thing I'm going to do is sit there and try and watch an hour TV show at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do, like you said, I'm going to stick on Friends. I'm going to put on an episode of Come Dine With Me, because it's just it doesn't need to concentrate. You don't need to follow the story.
Yeah.
You know, I think I agree. Yeah, massively. Let us know what you think, people down below. I think it's a very important thing to bring up. Whether or not, I know some streaming services still do it, but a lot of, especially like Netflix and everything, they still drop a lot of their content all at once.
Yeah.
But let us know down below your thoughts on it. If you agree or disagree, your reasons why. It'd be really interesting to see what other people think about.
Yeah.
But
you also brought up films, so shall we discuss a film?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're a bit late to the game, but we've just been to see Elemental.
Yep, and we're also going to be late to the game when releasing this episode, so it's
going to be even far behind.
Yeah.
But do you want to do initial thoughts, or should I do initial?
I'll talk initial thoughts.
Okay, you do it.
From watching the trailer, so normally when I know we're going to review a film, I try not to watch any other reviews. I don't want other people's reviews colouring my opinion.
Yeah.
But since I thought we weren't going to be able to fit this one into our schedule, but unfortunately nothing else big is coming out this week. Well, no.
Well, it is, but due to our scheduling.
Nothing's coming out for us.
Yeah.
I went ahead and watched a review for it.
Oh, okay.
And the review basically wasn't great, but said it's like, meh, it's one of the middle Pixar films.
Yeah.
And the review I watched talked about how there's a big sort of racism allegory in it, and it's very heavy-handed.
Right. Okay.
So I went into this film with an already prejudice.
Yeah.
I nearly said coloured opinion, and talking about racism, coloured opinion, but So I went into this with prejudice already, and I was sitting there going, you know what, that reviewer is wrong. Yes, there is a racism allegory in it, but I don't think it was heavy-handed like he said it was.
No.
The review made it sound like it was like in your face.
Yeah.
Racism's bad. It's like, yes, we all know that. Thank you for telling me. But it's not. It's in the background. It's there.
Yeah.
But it's not in your face like he said. I will agree, middling Pixar film. It's not one of their greatest, but it's also not one of their worst. I was fine with it. You can tell it's a passion project.
Yeah.
You hear these stories about like how I can't remember their names, but they really wanted to do the Lost Empire, the Atlantis, the Lost Empire, and they're like, oh well, if you want to do that, you have to do this film first.
Yeah.
And so they rushed that film out, and then please let me do Atlantis. You could tell this was that passion project. Someone wanted to do this film, and you could tell it had been thought of with love.
Yeah. 100%.
That being said, love does not always guarantee quality.
No.
And I feel like sometimes maybe if they're sitting there in the editing room and it's their passion project, they're going to look at it with very rose-tinted glasses.
Right.
And they're not going to see the issues.
Yeah.
So, average film, happily go take your kids to see it. It doesn't shock, it doesn't flip the table, but also at the same time, it's a nice watch.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
Yours? I went into this movie with low expectations from what I'd seen.
Wait. Sorry, I didn't hear that right. No or low?
Low.
Sorry. Okay.
Low expectations. I've seen the trailers when we were sitting in the cinema on the previews and things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was not on my list to watch. I wasn't too fussed about it. That being said, I enjoyed the film. Like you said, it hasn't broken any ground. It is a standard, was it Pixar or?
It was Disney Pixar.
Yeah, Disney Pixar film. Okay. It has your your underlying message of whatever the thing is, being nice or don't be mean to others, or love will always overcome, or whatever that is.
Yep.
That being said, for me, this movie visually was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
They and considering, like, obviously, like last week I spoke about like Indiana Jones and CGI being poor and everything. I know this is an animated movie, however, this was a pretty film.
Yep.
The colours popped, the blends of everything, the different, and I'm going to use this word, elements. Working together, being next to each other, it felt almost natural.
Yep.
I really enjoyed the visual aspect of this movie. Don't get me wrong, like I said, storyline, it's nothing major, it doesn't break any grounds. Visually, this movie is stunning, and I think especially anybody that is interested in like that kind of visual work, CGI work, visual artists, that kind of thing, this is that kind of movie that you need to watch. The way they use lighting through water and everything else and like that was really, really clever. They really thought about those parts, and especially for like me and you, we like Avatar. I like element.
Yeah.
I love elemental things. Fire, earth, wind, water. I love that kind of stuff. And then to kind of see it there like that. Don't get me wrong. Personally, air was a bit underused, but I will forgive them for that. But I would be very interested to know as well whether or not this movie was, maybe some of it was motion captured, because some of the way it worked, like hands touching and things like that, it looked like it was almost like motion captured and then they've edited over the top.
Yeah, I can see it.
I thought it was a really good film. It got more laughs out of me than I expected.
Yes, that's same with me.
I was not expecting to chuckle so much. There was some really good jokes, and
There was also some really poorly timed jokes. I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Like the very
Classic.
first joke at the start of the film
Yeah.
completely fell flat, and I was just like, "Oh, here we go."
Mm-hmm.
So then when I did laugh, it was a nice surprise. I was like, "Oh, that was actually a good joke."
I did think the same thing. I was just like, oh no, if it's going to be nearly, just over an hour and a half of this, then I'm not for it.
Yeah.
But there was some good jokes. It made me laugh. There was some bits that pulled in the old heartstrings and everything. I kind of hit every little bit that I needed it to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And because I don't think it's done very well in the box office.
No.
Which is actually quite shocking, because now seeing it, I do not think it is as bad as people were making it out to be.
But considering, like, okay, a lot of the times people always say, "Oh, all the funny bits are in the trailers. All the action pieces are in the trailers." Like, someone at work, their review of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning was, "Have you seen the trailer?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, "You've seen all the action pieces then?" And watching it, I'm like, "That's a bit of a stretch."
Yeah.
But this one, you said, I watched the trailer, I've come in with low expectation. Do you think the trailer didn't do this film justice?
No, it didn't. I don't think it did.
No.
Because the storyline that happened, even though it was weak, was not the storyline I was expecting from this movie.
Yeah.
So I think they've missed advertised this movie massively.
Yeah.
I think if they had advertised it a different way, but then again, I think if they had advertised it a different way, then people might have expected another different movie and been upset from it.
Maybe, who knows?
Because you could have advertised it as an action movie where, like, the fire world was under attack, from that water. I'm trying not to give away too many spoilers, but this movie would have been out for like 8 weeks or however
when
long.
you said that, my mind just went, and then the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah. But it was just like, I don't think it was that bad of a film.
No.
They could have definitely publicised it better. But then also, I think, like you said about your man reviewing it, maybe people are just reading far too much into it,
Yeah.
and therefore not have seen it because they think of different things. They think of something else.
Yeah.
I really don't. From what you said, yes, there was that kind of not racist, but that racial aspect.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was racist. I don't think it was. I think it was trying
No,
to.
the film wasn't racist, but it was like it was trying to like the review that I saw. It was basically saying, "Oh, water people are the whites, fire people are everyone else."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And it was like I did not see that. Like
I
yeah,
didn't see that.
there was slurs
Yeah.
of a sort of very meager nature, but they
Yeah.
weren't sort of the person would say it and everyone else would around them be like, you can't, they were
No.
kind of just like, it was more, how the Australians call us pommies and everything,
Yeah.
and we call them Aussies. It was more that kind of thing,
Yeah. I agree with that. I think.
But this review is American, so they probably,
I think this is also the thing that people are just reading far too much into stuff
100%.
when they should be. It's a kids' film.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, kids' films and like kids' TV shows and things like that are supposed to educate kids in a fun way.
Yes.
They are supposed to help them understand the world.
Yeah.
And give them lessons and things like that. And they are also supposed to entertain.
Yeah.
I think the movie did that. It entertained. It had jokes for adults. It had jokes for kids. It it would have educated kids in some aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
It's a not a perfect film, but a decent film to open a conversation with your kids.
Yes. Yeah.
Like Inside Out was a good film to, now do you want to talk about mental health? This
Yes.
one's a good one of, now do you want to talk about like how people are different? It's a good opener to a conversation with your kids.
Yeah, good building blocks for
which
it.
Pixar have already done because they did Inside Out as well. So there you go. Pixar does a conversation starter again.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to describe it.
This is the best way to describe that film. But yeah, so of course, as we've said, our schedules don't match up with the rest of the world right now. And of course, at the end of this week is Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yes.
And of course, everyone is discussing whether they're going to do a double bill and calling it Barbenheimer or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Now, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What order would you do it in? If you could choose which order to watch it in, I know you're probably just going to go on what times you can meet.
Yeah.
If you could pick an order to watch them in, which order would you do it?
It's difficult because I really would probably like to see Oppenheimer first and then watch Barbie because I know Barbie's 2 hours and Oppenheimer is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like mentally, I think watching Oppenheimer when I'm more awake and more with it would be more more mentally would be mentally better. However, then having Barbie as my palate cleanser would not be my choice.
I've seen it a different way. I've seen it like, go to watch Oppenheimer. It's dark, it's gritty, it's going to be full on. Yeah. And then go watch Barbie because it'll be stupid and fun.
It would then bring you back up. But then I feel like Oppenheimer's that kind of movie where it's like going to watch Saving Private Ryan and then going to watch Tropic Thunder. It's like you're watching a really, really dark and very deep movie, and then you're going to go watch something very silly.
Yes.
I think I'm more of a. If I could, I'd watch it the other way around and watch Barbie and then watch Oppenheimer. But I think for my own, like you said, the way we're scheduling, I'm probably going to watch Oppenheimer first.
Fair enough.
You?
Yeah, I would do Oppenheimer first, then Barbie, purely of grumpy, and then happy lighting. I'd much rather walk out of the cinema happy than sort of. I'm not saying that the film's going to be bad, but it's just it's 3 hours of very dark history.
Yeah.
So it's kind of you kind of walk out and be like, shit, because it's not a fun subject.
Oh god, it's a deep film.
It's a very deep film. But yeah, so that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Comment down below, people. What order would you watch them?
Probably by the time this movie comes out, you may have watched both. So what order did you see
watch them in? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Spots on back hurt.
Spots on back hurt.
Yeah.
Be
when
a
you're
man, shave a leg.
No. When you're shaving a leg, pick an appropriate song to sing along to.
Yeah, and make sure you have a shower cap.
And make sure you have a shower cap.
Next time you shave your leg, I want Christina Aguilera "Dirty," please. Thank you.
I don't know if I can add this to my shaving routine.
Well,
We'll have to see.
When you're on holiday, your colleagues should cover. It's a given.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
Why? You're just stirring up angst in the office.
exactly. When you come back from work, don't do 62-hour working week. It's
No.
exhausting.
Yep.
Um,
Especially on jet lag.
That's for sure.
Um,
Elemental was better than we thought it was going to be.
mhm.
Visually, go watch it for that. Story isn't great, but visually, great film.
Yeah. And TV shows should go back to weekly releases.
100%. No more of this dropping full content. I don't have time.
What do you guys think? Comment down below.
Let us know on all your thoughts on this week's topics
Mhm.
and movie review and TV show review. What
Yes.
have you been watching? Secret Invasion? What do you think about it?
Yeah.
With that, make sure you like this video.
Mhm.
Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Comment down below on everything. If you're listening to Spotify, give us a 5-star review. You know you want to. Just saying it is. Just saying how it is. You're just like, I should probably give this person a 5-star review, but I'm not going to. So actually, so do it.
Say it more sexual.
I'm not going to.
Come on, do it.
No.
Do it for the Vine. Oh, I miss Vine.
Oh, I miss
Vine.
Vines.
Do it for the
Why
Vine.
are Vines are now all over TikTok?
Yeah, of course.
It's
they are, 'cause
crazy.
Vines are better than TikTok.
I know.
Fine. If you're not going to do it for the Vine, do it for the gram.
No, you do it.
What is it you said again?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
I've completely lost my train of thought. Distracted me. But on that note, I'm going to call it quits there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us this week,
And we'll see you in the next one.
and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks
Thank
very
you very
much.
much. Bye bye.